Hello there GCSEers, and today we're going to explore the question, what do Sikhs believe happens when you die? Now the story today is about a man who thought he understood all about something called karma. He knew that what happens to a person is a result of their previous actions, in their lives and in their past lives. However, he was proud and thought he knew everything. One day he saw a blind man trying to get up some steps and failing. He didn't help him and passed him by. He thought to himself, he deserves to be blind. In the past he must have refused to see something important, so now he is blind. Then he heard the blind man laugh, and asked him why he had laughed. The blind man told him that he was right. He had been born blind because of karma in a past life. The man was shocked that the blind man knew what he was thinking, and asked him what had been the important thing he'd refused to see. The man replied that he should be careful, or the same thing would happen to him. The proud man was now worried, and feeling more humble, he begged the blind man to tell him what he had failed to do that made him blind. "I just refused to see the things I could not see to help others," said the blind man. "I forgot that God is in all of us." He then explained that in a previous life he had failed to help someone who was sick, and instead he judged the person. "Now," he said, "you are like me. You are judging rather than helping. You are proud, not kind." Sikhs believe in something called reincarnation, which means that when a human being dies, their soul, or the part of you that never changes, is reborn into another body. This is called rebirth, and is part of the cycle of being born, dying, and being reborn. The cycle will keep repeating itself until the soul is liberated or freed from this pattern, and becomes one with God. Sikhs believe that everything has a soul, all animals and human beings have soul, and at death the soul changes its form of life, being reborn into a new form of existence. The goal is to achieve liberation from this rebirth. First we're going to look at karma. Now karma is a term which we've looked at when we've explored Hindus and Buddhism and other things, that they all believe in karma, and refers to the total of a person's actions and words, which determines what happens to that individual in the future. So, given that individuals may have previous rebirths into this world because of the idea of rebirth, the actions they have done previously will affect both their future and the kind of existence that they will have. Sometimes karma is described as destiny, because it relates to what will happen in the future. This belief in karma means that for Sikhs, rebirth is not a random event, but something that depends on what they've done previously. Sikhs believe that being born a human being on earth indicates that they've done good things in previous life, and that God will have caused this to happen. So they may believe that when they die, if they've been a bad person, then they'll go into an animal or something like that. But if they have been a good person, then they're going to be reborn into a human body. Once born as a human, a person has the opportunity to make further progress towards liberation, and needs to make the most of what God has given them. They can do this in two ways. First, they can build up good karma by doing good and well-behaved things towards other people. And secondly, something we need to explore really is the idea that they believe that by getting God's grace, God's gift, by receiving God's grace, they can actually be reborn again into the human form or a better human form. If people do bad deeds, there will be consequences. For each bad deed, there will be some suffering in a future life. People can only rid themselves of past bad karma by meditating on God's name and hearing his word, and finally that idea again that's really important to Sikhs, Siwa, serving others, which we're going to look at in the future in a bit more detail. Now if they are liberated from this rebirth, this cycle of rebirth, then they're going to achieve something called mukti. And this word mukti means liberation or freedom or a release. It's also translated, it sometimes means salvation. It's the final goal for Sikhs. This is the point which an individual soul rejoins God and becomes reunited with God. And to achieve mukti, a person must rid themselves of all that stands in the way of getting close to God, the negative aspect of mukti. They can do this by taking charge of their lives, finding power and strength to withstand dangers or temptations, to do wrong, and to move further away from God. Mukti may be achieved while someone is alive, and this is known as Jivan Mukti. For Sikhs, individuals need to go through several stages to reach mukti, when the soul is free to find God to be complete in him, which is the positive aspect of mukti. No one can describe what this is like, because no one can describe what it would be like to be united within God. Mukti would just need to be experienced, but Sikhs know that this is the ultimate bliss, happiness, contentment and peace.